Because I've sold my F82, I've sold my G90 M5, and at the moment, I've just got the trusty E36. I have to admit, this car that I'm getting in stock form isn't that impressive. So for that reason, I'm gonna be buying the car and modifying it all within 24 hours. Mark my words, once this car is complete, it's gonna be absolutely top tier. So now, I need to get on a train to Newcastle. Okay, so I've just arrived at Durham after getting off the train, and Tony from Performance 28, where I'm actually collecting the car, he said hold tight because I'm going to come pick you up in something special from the station, so I'm excited to see what he's coming. Oh, what a taxi! What's happening, you alright? You all good? This is a motor. I wish every taxi was like this. Oh yes, that sounds so sick. So I've just arrived at Performance 28 and I'm about to go inside the showroom, and this place looks absolute. Oh, I've seen the car already. Hold up, let me spin you around and show it in some cinematics.
M2. I like this car. Manual, oh my gosh. No. He did not just get that car in manual, bro.
This is a G82 M4.
In manual is ridiculous, bro.
But it's not a normal G82 M4. This is an Irish G82 M4. This customer's travelled all the way from Ireland for us to transform this beautiful G82 M4. We've spec'd up all the parts to his build, and we've told him it's going to take 4 days for us to build this car. He said that's sweet, so he's sleeping in our waiting area at the moment. We're in the deep end at the moment though, because a lot of the parts that he's ordered have been delayed by our suppliers. So I can't really get everything out and show you it around the car like we normally do, but we need to get cracking because there are a few parts that have arrived that we should get started with now. Take in what this car looks like now, because it's about to get completely transformed.
I like it, I like it. Green is a nice color too.
This brand new G82 M4 is spec'd beautifully. Anglesey green with tan interior. You might be wondering, how can this get better? The stock exhaust is getting switched out for an Aquapovic exhaust with the valve controller. These wheels are going to be switched out for a set of HRE wheels, and we're also going to be dropping that ride height. TRE carbon fibre wing mirrors. Round here, we're also going to be installing an Adro carbon fibre rear wing, along with the Adro rear diffuser. These gloss black side fender badges are going carbon. Carbon fibre side skirts. Pulling off the braces, fitting a carbon fibre front grille and a set of carbon fibre ducts as well. And we're going to be topping it off with a Travora PR1 front splitter, along with heritage badges and magna plates. So as I said, a few bits are here. Casper, what's actually here? Because I ain't got a clue.
So we've got the grills here, we've got the heritage badges here, we've got the magna plates here, we've got the wing mirror covers here, we've got the side fender trims here, we've got the side skirts here, and we've got the springs here.
So let's get started. I'll do the wing mirrors.
All right.
Nice.
So with these side fender trims, they're a direct replacement. You just pop these out. I would recommend masking it all up just so you protect your paint. However, they're held in by 3 clips. You just pry it off. It may feel like it's breaking, but I promise it's not. And you just move these clips onto the new piece, onto the new part, and then slide it back onto the car. So the final thing you want to do once they're fitted onto the car is take the M4 badges off the stock ones and transfer them onto the new ones. So we'll do that now.
Wing mirrors and side fender badges are now installed. So what we've done is put the car on the ramp, because we're going to start fitting the suspension. And the suspension of choice is the I-back lowering springs. This is probably, well, to be honest, this is the go-to kit when it comes to lowering any G-Series BMW. They're going to lower the car about 25 mil. The nicest thing about these is they pretty much retain OEM ride quality, so they'll ride very nice, and they'll also cut a little bit of body roll out. But we're going to be closing down that massive arch gap, because look how big it is. It's huge. It's time to get that low in, so let's get these installed now. So Casper's just finished up installing all of the springs. Now what we're going to start doing is the rear wing. It's an Adro rear wing. We're going to go unbox it now, show you guys what it looks like, and then start getting it installed. So I'm surrounded by the Adro 80 R3 wing, and this is by far one of the most aggressive rear wings that you can actually get for the G82. It's... Hello? Yeah, as I was saying before I got disrupted by the dog, it is one of the most aggressive rear wings you can get for this car. I'll give you a quick rundown of everything you get. So you get the two wing blades, which are just here. Extremely high billet aluminium, and then they're coated in like a Cerakote black material rear wing legs, which are going to look absolutely insane. And the nice thing about Adro is when you're installing a big wing like this, you need some form of hefty mounting on the inside of the boot. And they've basically developed these carbon inner brackets, which the wing actually mounts to on the inside of the boot. So we basically have to do a lot of drilling out on the inner of the boot to get these installed. So yeah, it's a pretty long install, so we need to get cracking with this as well. The wing also comes with these beautiful end blades.
To get started with the wing, I'm going to strip all of these trims to get access to the bare panel.
So Casper's got his goggles on at the moment because he's just finished up getting everything installed.
Look how dirty my face is.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
But you've done a really nice clean install, to be fair, mate.
Yes, as good as it can be. I've pretty much cut out the boot just to get the template fitted. As you can see, it isn't the prettiest job, but once the cover's back on, it will cover 99% of it, so you won't see it. This is the only way of doing it. As you can see, it's all carbon fiber. It has to be a deep cutout for it to sit flush on both sides. Once that's fitted, you literally drill through the inside holes, and that will perfectly line up from the top, so you don't have to drill from the top, and that's marked out. Then you just place the legs on it, the rest of the spoiler, and that's all done.
So we can get the spoiler mounted now?
We can.
Wait, we've got to drill some holes first, though.
We do.
Let's get drilling.
Let's do it. So the wing is all fitted now. As you can see, it is very aggressive. However, we are still missing the diffuser. So once that's done, that will be the whole rear end completed. But if you ever look up close, this is a double slat, I want to say, wing, where it has got a gap in between. You don't normally see these on anything really. So now that's all done, we're going to move over onto the front, get the front bumper off, get the grills fitted, the side ducts and the magna plates, and then we'll check in with you after that.
What are you doing, a front bumper?
So the bumper's all off the car now. I'm going to be removing the plate first and then the grills, which will be getting replaced by these beautiful CSL style carbon fiber ones. And you may notice that it does have a bronze pin strap all around, which is kind of a custom thing we did for the customer, just because the wheels that he's getting will be a similar color to this, and also it does have brown interior. So that will nicely finish the front end off and make the car stand out a little bit more. So let's get these fitted now, and then we'll move on to the corn ducts.
No one's ever gonna know that. Would they?
So the front bumper is all completed now. As you can see, side ducts and the center grille has been fitted, which has completely transformed the front end really. I didn't know how the pin strap would actually look on these grills. However, it works really, really well with the color of the car. So I think that's a good shout from the customer. We are now going to put the magna plates on whilst the bumper's off, chuck the bumper back onto the car, and then get the front splitter installed.
green is beautiful.
So the bumper's now back on the car. The next thing we'll be doing is putting the front splitter on. However, you may notice I have removed this little gloss black trim. That's because this Trevora PR1 splitter is a 3-piece splitter, and this corner section actually replaces the OEM gloss black trim. So that's only held in by one 8mm bolt, which is right behind here. Once you pop that out, it's just 3 clips and it comes straight off. So now I'm going to clean it up, put the splitter on. And the lovely thing about this splitter is the carbon on the splitter matches perfectly with the carbon on the vents and the grills. So once that's on, that'll be the whole front end complete.
Perfect. No. Nuts.
So the front splitter is all fitted now. As you can see, the whole front end has been completely transformed. Now that's done, we've just had delivery of the Aquapovich exhaust. So we'll be fitting that now, and then once that's done, we'll hopefully drop the car onto the floor. I can get the side skirts done and everything else.
And the wheels.
Wheels ain't here yet.
Wheels ain't here yet.
Wheels ain't here yet.
Let me quickly just show them the exhaust holder.
Yes.
So we've got the Aquapovic system laid out here, and this is the slip-on system with a pair of octagonal tips. Very nice, and these look very, very expensive because this system actually is very expensive, and there's good reason for it. In terms of quality, you are not beating this with any other product. And they do something really nice with the valve. So it comes with like a valve control kit, which we've got to get wired in. And it basically butterflies the valve to make sure that the sound that this car is producing is very even and very clean. It's really smart how they actually do it. I don't actually know the tech because I don't work there, but I know that this system is the bollocks, and it's one of the best systems that you can get. So enough waffling, let's get on the car now.
So as it is a slip-on system, we do have to...
Slip-on?
Slip-on? So as it is a slip-on system, we do have to cut the stock exhaust just about where the bracket sits, and then that way we can remove the back section, replace it with a Aquapovich section. So the exhaust is all fitted now. I've just finished up wiring in the valve controller, which is a little complex on these. It's not as straightforward as like the Miltic system and everything else, as you can see. It does run through the boot, down underneath, over the heat shields, and into the OEM valve controllers. So now that's done, I'm gonna put the boot back together. We won't show you a sound clip yet, but it does sound beautiful. So we're going to put the boot back together now. Once the boot's back together, I'll do the rear badge. Once the rear badge is done, we've just got the side skirts left. The rear diffuser still hasn't come in. So as soon as that arrives, that'll be going on as well. As you can see, it's still the gloss black one that's on there from factory. And then the final bit will be the wheels.
That budget's so easy.
So the side skirts are all fitted now. There's only a couple more things that are left to do, which is the wheels and the diffuser. Unfortunately, the diffuser hasn't arrived yet, but we have just got delivery of the wheels. So let's pop one open, see what they look like. I have just slit open, but I haven't actually looked at the wheels yet, so. Oh, beautiful. What a good colour. That'll work really well with the green. Also the pin strap on the front. So the tyre man's on his way to get tyres mounted onto these wheels. Once he's done that, we'll get the wheels onto the car, which will be done today. And also we are expecting the Adro diffuser to come in this afternoon's shipment. So the whole car should be finished today. Fingers crossed. Guys, watch this. Remember in the last clip, you saw no tyres on the wheels? I'm gonna snap my fingers and there's gonna be tyres on the wheels. 3, 2, 1. You still... No, there's tyres on the wheels. So, as well as the tyres being fitted on the wheels, which look amazing, but we have had the Adro diffuser come in. As you can see, big Adro box, big Adro diffuser. I was a bit impatient, so I started unwrapping it, but let's unwrap it on video just to see how it looks. So I've never actually seen one of these diffusers in person, so I'm not too sure what to expect, but because it's Adro, I know it's going to be good. So just like I thought, it is a very aggressive diffuser, especially because it's not just a center section, it does actually come with the side pieces, so it will cover the whole back of the car. Now we've got it unboxed, let's chuck the wheels on, let's chuck the diffuser on, and that will be the car complete.
So the car is now finished, and we've actually finished early because at the start of the video, I did not think this was going to happen because half of the parts weren't even here yet, but it's come together beautifully. The car looked lovely stock. Very nice spec G82 M4, but it could always go up that one extra step. So we have taken it up 16 steps. Check this out. So what do we think then? I think this car looks absolutely amazing. That green paired up with the bronze wheels, perfection. The rear end is extremely aggressive, but overall I think it's a very classy build, paired up with some of the best products that are actually available on the market. So let me run you through all the parts now. Right, update, yeah, car's not complete. We fitted the wrong splitter, to be honest, and I've only just noticed it because I checked the job sheet and I was like, hang on a minute, that's not a PR1 splitter. PR1 splitter is a lot more aggressive than that. Get this car back on the ramp now and let's get the PR1 splitter installed. Right, car's back on the ramp now, but if you do like that splitter is actually a full performance splitter, which is very close to the M performance splitter. And the boys, when they were installing it earlier, didn't notice. Obviously, if I was there, I would have noticed because I actually know what I'm doing, but Casper ain't really got a clue and neither is Connor behind the camera.
Because Nathan knows everything.
What was quite funny is off camera, I was literally just arguing with Connor like about what splitter it was, and I clearly know what splitter it is, and I know it's the wrong splitter, but Connor was so adamant. He was like, no, it's the Trevor one.
I'm going to save the day.
There's the PR1, and this one is way more aggressive, so it's going to look really nice. Fat, juicy.
Don't name Ben.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Ben either, I'm talking about the splitter. Now this is the finished product. Take two, let's do a breakdown of the build. So it's running the Trevora PR1 front splitter, very, very aggressive front splitter, which now matches up with that stupidly aggressive Adro rear wing. We've got a CSL carbon fibre front grille, also has the carbon fibre front ducts that we've installed. On the top here, we've also installed the genuine anniversary badges. These are the HRE FF21 wheels, and they look absolutely perfect, finished in this satin bronze colour. They're flow forged, that's what the FF actually stands for, and it means that they come in at a slightly cost-effective price compared to the normal forged options that HRE actually sell. But I have to say, these are one of my favourite model of wheels that HRE actually make. We switched out the gloss black mirrors for a set of Trevora carbon fibre mirror covers, and down here we've switched out the gloss black side fender badges for a set of carbon ones by the company called Form. Down here we've got the flat Trevora carbon fibre side skirt, nice clean design, nothing too aggressive. Here we've got the Adro ATR3 rear wing, and this is probably the most aggressive rear wing that we actually sell for the G82 M4, and it looks absolutely insane. Nice thing about Adro products are they actually produce a hell of a lot of downforce. They're not just for styling, and if you want any figures, I'll get Connor to overlay what downforce this actually produces because it's pretty insane. One of the guys over at Adro, his name's Scott, he was an ex-F1 design engineer, and everything he knows in terms of aero has all been put into these products, so it is the most top-end stuff that you can get in terms of spoilers and things like that. Down here, we've got the Adro rear diffuser, incredibly aggressive rear diffuser, comes around here with these nice little downward style winglets, and it just looks really unique, and it pairs up beautifully with them Aquapovic rear tips because we fitted the Acra system. But it's time for me to give you a quick little sound test, because considering this is just an OPF back and all of the factory cats, OPFs, resonators are all still retained, this sounds so good, and I think it's down to them active valve controllers that the Aquapovic systems actually have. So let me give you some revs now.
I would have it on.
As to be expected, I don't know if the video is doing any justice, but that is the best sounding OPF back system that you can actually get for the G82. And in person, it is the perfect level of sound. Other systems, you'd normally have to cut a lot more out for it to generate that sound, but that sounds absolutely amazing. We love this car so much, we're gonna go take it to another spot and get some more shots of it and do a quick photo shoot. So cue some cinematics now. If you're looking to build something special like this, then head over to the AutoID website, use code YouTube5, shop by car features, you're going to find your car and loads of parts available for it. But alternatively, if you don't even know where to start, or you want to just go balls deep and go crazy, get in touch with our sales team and they will help you build the perfect vehicle. Let us know what you think about this G82 down in the comments, because we love it at AutoID and I'm sure the customer is going to be extremely happy. And we've actually managed to do it on time. No idea how, but it's all come together. And in next week's video, we're basically taking our new RS6 and GT3 to Germany, and we're going to be towing the GT3 with the RS6. But the RS6 currently doesn't have a tow bar, and both cars are having work done to them, which I'm not going to spoil nothing, but it's chaos, so it's going to be bad. Fingers crossed it all goes to plan. Catch you guys next Sunday. Bye. Make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you subscribe, because we're getting so close to 100k. Please, 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 please. I'm speaking to you. Subscribe.
I sold almost everything I own to buy my all-time dream car. And 5 years ago, I commented on a video of this exact car, and I said, my absolute dream car as a kid and even now. And now, this car is mine. But it wasn't exactly easy to get. This car appeared on an auction website back in March, and as soon as I saw the spec, I knew I had to do something to try and buy it. To me, this is the perfect Murcielago. It's an early car with the 6.2 litre V12. It's got the teledial wheels. It's in my dream colour, which is Giallo Orion. And most importantly, it is a factory gated manual. But there was a major problem. Manual Murcielagos have absolutely exploded in value over the last few years, and they are now incredibly hard to come by. In America, they can be close to $1 million, and here in the UK, they are now well over £400,000 if you can even find one. So the big question was, how the hell do I even pay for this thing? Because this is an auction car, I had no idea what it might sell for, and I had less than 2 months to try and figure it all out. So I put a plan together, and that plan was to basically sell everything. I sold my twice crash damaged yellow Clio 200, my Mercedes CL 500, my trusty Range Rover L322 Daily. I then replaced all of those with my £600 Alpha 159 to get me to and from work. But as you're probably quite rightly thinking, that's not quite enough money to go out and buy a Lamborghini Murcielago. Very fortunately for me, last year I managed to buy a manual Lamborghini Gallardo at pretty much the perfect time. It was the first time I had ever bought something on finance, but on certain older cars where values are steadily rising, it can actually make a lot of sense. And within the first few months of owning it, I had already been offered over £15,000 more than what I paid for it, because manual Gallardos are also getting incredibly rare. And because I love that car so much and I had no idea a Murcielago was possible, I turned those offers down. So when this car came up, I knew that if I sold that car, it would be a huge step towards owning a Murcielago. So with the possibility of maybe making a really good profit on the Gallardo, I started speaking to finance companies to see if there was any way that I could possibly fund a Murcielago. Eventually, I managed to agree a deal to sell the Gallardo at a really healthy profit, but the problem was that car needed to be gone before the auction. So there was a genuine chance that I could sell my Gallardo right before the summer when I was planning to use it, and then lose out on my ultimate dream car, having sold all of my other cars, and end up with no cars left. But to me, for this car, I thought that was a risk worth taking. And somehow, that Gallardo is now owned by JK from Jamiroquai, which is pretty wild. But finally, after months of selling my cars, eating nothing but rice and dust, and then speaking to finance companies, I finally had something that resembled a deposit to go to the auction with. Auction day was honestly one of the most stressful days of my life. Now, I know to some people this is just a car, but to me, this is my ultimate dream car, the thing I have always wanted ever since I was a kid. And this really felt like one of the last opportunities I may ever have to buy one. There are only 80 right-hand drive OEM manual versions of the Murcielago, so it's very rare and they don't come up that often. And I thought, I don't own a house, I don't have any children yet, and every single penny I spend goes into owning and driving the cars that I love. I had to sit there and wait for 124 lots to go by before the Murcielago finally came up.
Lamborghini Murcielago.
I had never bid at an auction in person before, so I'd spent weeks researching what to do and how I would play it.
It's no reserve. It has to be sold.
I tried to stay calm and let everyone else do the early bidding, but eventually I couldn't help myself and got involved. Then suddenly the bidding stalled way below the estimate.
What do we reckon? Any more?
And because there was no reserve on this car, for a moment it genuinely looked like this was about to become one of the cheapest Murcielagos sold for years. But then the bids suddenly started flying in.
165,000, 170,000, 180,000.
And my heart completely sank as it got closer and closer to my absolute limit.
Sir, don't miss it for 5,000.
Fortunately, things started to slow right towards the end, but it still looked like I was about to miss out. And that was when my dad leaned over to me and said that he and my granddad would help me out with a little bit extra just to try and get it over the line. So I placed one final bid.
Your car, sir. Well done.
If there was one car that I could own, money no object, it would be that one right there. I check Murcielago prices regularly. I check it as if like next week.
Next week. I set my phone wallpaper is that. That has made 12-year-old me's entire life.
Despite the fact that the car wasn't yet paid for and it explicitly said, do not touch, my granddad had already started trying to fix it. And before I left, I asked if I could sit in it for the first time. It was a really emotional day, but even after winning it, the stress still wasn't over. There was paperwork, finance approvals, transfers, documents, but then finally, after a full month of waiting, the car was ready to be delivered, and we decided to do that somewhere pretty special.
New Lamborghini Murcielago. I mean, look at it. It's the ultimate automotive pinner. It's so good, it's better than any current Ferrari.
Oh shit. Still doesn't quite feel real. Oh my god. Oh shit.
Okay. So we wanted to make sure Will could just do this by himself. We didn't want everyone piling in and starting asking questions and revving it, all that sort of stuff. Will doesn't get emotional about much, but I have a feeling he'll probably be quite emotional in there right now, because he is driving his Lamborghini Murcielago.
This is my Murcielago. And I'm at the Top Gear track.
That's quite cool.
That was the scariest slow drive I've ever had. I was just waiting for something to make a noise. Ah.
What were the feelings?
I can't stop looking at it. I keep catching it in my peripheral of like, we'll be filming over there, and I just see it, and it's this rear. I have waited many years to just sit in a Murcielago. I can't wait to get it on the road properly, drive it, sort out all the issues, but just look at the bloody thing. That tyre's flat, that tyre's a little bit flat, and they're all very old, so again, this isn't going to be a hair-raising drive, but it is a drive nonetheless. I'm looking at every single dial going, oh, what are you saying? But we're up to some temperature. Yeah! Yes! Oh. Oh. This is where you first saw it. The car Yevel, YEV1L. It was one of the press cars, I think, the yellow Murcielago. Season 1, episode 1 of Top Gear, 6.2 Murcielago racing as Honda.
Are you ready to go across the start line on the Top Gear track in your Murcielago?
In my Murcielago. I think I am. No, I'm not saying much, but I don't think there's much to be said.
No.
The car does all the talking. that, we got the car back to the unit, and before we could even get it on the lift, we had to jack it up and replace the battery, which required removing one of the rear wheels.
Jeez. Day one Murcielago ownership. Jack stands in the TDC unit. Put the wheel off.
Gotta take the wheel off. Jesus Christ. Not as heavy as I thought. Quite a light wheel, but it is a big old boy. They need a refurb. There are some like tiny curbing marks on the edge, but this is all like just corrosion. It needs tyres first, because these tyres are 10 years old. So these are 10 years old. The fronts I think are different. And also, so you'll notice these are Michelins. These are Michelin PS2s. We're now on PS5. They don't make this tyre anymore. There's only a couple of tyre solutions for this size, because this is a 335 30 18. It's a ridiculous tyre size that no one makes, but I do have tyres. See if we can get the thing started properly under its own steam, and then we can worry about the tyres. Then to get to the battery meant removing part of the wheel arch liner. I, for some reason, feel less nervous working on this than I did the Gallardo. I think because this car is a bit rougher, I feel less nervous, but also I'm well aware that everything on this costs way more. So yeah, a little bit nervous. A battery change, I feel that should be fine. When it gets a bit bigger than that, that's when maybe the fear might kick in. Also, again, continuing, no power tools. It is a little bit dirty just from being driven around, obviously, at the track and whatever, but this has had quite a lot of money spent on the underside. I found 2 invoices totaling just under £60,000 doing the underside. That was at a specialist who are well known for being very, very expensive, but also very, very good. But that is like steam cleaning the underside, powder coating bits, doing a load of work to the underside. So a lot of these bushes, front and rear, wishbones, joints, they've all been replaced, but they are biblically expensive. They might look quite simple, like this arm here looks relatively simple, it's a little bit kit car really, but some of the bolts in here are hundreds of pounds, and no one's really found alternatives to any of them yet. Part of the reason I like this car is because mechanically it seemed to be quite well looked after, it's had a lot of money spent on it, and that is a good thing. Cosmetics I can deal with. Somewhat worryingly, that battery doesn't look a huge amount old. Wow, how the bloody hell are you meant to get down there? This battery looked properly trapped, but after some YouTube research, I could finally get it out. Let's see if we can look for any clues. I'm dating it a little bit already because it has the number plate 264 Woo, which hasn't been on the car for quite some time. Perhaps it is quite old. Also, if you're wondering why we're on axle stands at the moment, I need to start the engine to get the nose lift to go up. To get it on the ramp, we will need the nose lift. So we thought, rather than try and jump it, let's put the new battery in, see if it starts under its own steam, then we can do the nose lift, then we can try and put it on the lift. Then I got the new battery in, which did mean sacrificing a light. Wait, fuck it.
Oh, for goodness sake.
But before I could reattach the terminals, I had an issue. I was just trying to push the battery in, and I realised it doesn't get past the little tray that it's in, and that is because I've never noticed this before on a battery. It's got this on. Assuming this will fit most other cars, but not this one. I might need to do the other side, but let's see if it goes in. Yeah. Next terminal on, and then we'll do a test, see if we get any lights and what such, and then we need to whack the wheel back on, see if we can get it on the lift. Not as bad, but still, you know, not as easy as a normal car. With that, I got the other terminal on and I could give it a test. So previously, we had no ignition, they're not going to start it. There we go, and we have got 12 volts, 12 on the dash. Lovely. I'll put the arch back together, put the wheel back on, see if we can get it on the left. Wheel is back on, arch line is back on. So, start it, see if we can get it on the lift, then try and get the tyres changed over. In theory, this is this car's first startup under its own steam, not being pushed by 6 men or off of a jump pack.
Yeah! Nice! There we go! Now we've got to get it on the left. It's loud. It's nowhere near as loud as the Gallardo, but it is loud.
Now, I mentioned earlier on that this car came from an auction. When it was first listed, there was very, very minimal information. All I had were the photos. There was no registration, there was no VIN number, but the photos did show the VIN plate just in there, and that gave me a little bit of a head start because it meant I could run a car vertical check. When you run a car vertical check, you can use the reg, but if you don't have that, you can use the VIN. So I ran the VIN, and I got this. It gave me the number plate, it gave me loads of history. Now you will notice there's some yellow marks, so we'll get into those. We have one for mileage, so if we go onto that one, we can see that at some point in this car's life, we were at about 8,000 miles, and then it went up to 98,000 miles. Now, I'm not too worried about that. The number adds up, that someone's just added a wrong number. It would have been at around 9,000 miles. So Annoying, but I thought that might help me get the price down a little bit. We've also got a yellow marker for finance. That's because that's the only way I can bloody afford this thing. And the other one is for damage, because this car was previously written off in 2007. But something quite cool, you can see the photo there, is there were a load of photos. This is from the auction of this car way back in 2021. And then I could find a registration from that, and that meant I could find out a load of history on this car. So I found out loads of information on this car before anyone else knew about it, and running a car vertical check really, really helped out with that. Now, if you're ever buying a car, make sure that you run a car vertical check, leave no stone unturned, or if you and a few friends are gonna buy a load of cars this year, you can actually bundle your checks together and get them even cheaper, get up to 50% off. Make sure the next time you run a check, use our discount code TDC and you'll get 20% off. Before lifting it up, Edwin noticed something interesting about the ride height.
So we noticed that this side is lower than that side. If you go and look at that side, the rear is much higher up on that side. These cars do have coilovers from factory, so I'm just going to take a measurement so that Will has reference of the height on each side, so that he can level them out if he wanted to. Basically 12 centimeters on the dot. 14 centimeters. So this needs to drop down about 20 mil to match that side.
With that, we double-checked absolutely everything and then got the car in the air.
That is a Lamborghini Murcielago in the air in the top dead center unit.
Yeah. Last car in here was an RS6. Last car before that was a Lupo. Oh my God, have a look at those front tyres. They've got the cracking all the way down the middle. That is why I didn't really want to drive this car very quick at all.
That's a wide stance, my guy.
Because although the treads are all fine, actually the treads are like brand new. Like, that's a load of tread. But because they're cracked, because they've all dried out, even down there on the shoulder, completely dried out, because the tyres are, these ones are 11 years old. You would end up having a blowout on a tyre like this, or having a really bad time in the wet. Good to change them. I'll show you the new ones in a sec. Okay, so all the wheels are now off. As you saw, the front tyres are really, really quite cracked. These do need a refurb. I'm not going to get around to it yet because I don't want to have to beach this on the lift. We have other stuff to do, but it needs tyres to go through an MOT. The tread isn't bad at all, but there is slight, tiny bits of cracking and wear, and they are very, very old. I ordered new tyres before this car even arrived. That's one of the rears. I mean, they are absolutely insane. Like, it's just ridiculous width. Now, there are tyres out there, modern cars, mostly Lamborghinis and supercars, that have something this wide. It's a 335, but hardly any modern tyres are 18 inches. So there are only two normal road tyres available in this size. They are both Pirellis. These are actually sided left and right, so you have to buy one of each left and right, and in the front, you cannot find a front that matches this exact tyre. So this is a P0 Asymmetrico 2. The nearest thing I could find, because these are also P0 Corsas as well, is a separate P0 Corsa, which is Merc fitment. It's a little bit awkward. Also, these two tyres were £1,500. So they better last. Let's get these down to the tyre place, get them swapped over. Then we got the wheels off to go and get the new tyres fitted. We found this out. We were at the track. We were trying to pump up the tyres. And you'll look around this and you go, how the bloody hell do you pump a tyre up? There is no valve or anything, and that's because, a little bit like, I think, Alpinas do a similar thing. Is that, so you've got, this is a split rim, so it's a two-piece, I think this is, yeah, two-piece wheel. So you've got bolts here, but then hidden in there, in one of the bolt holes, is the valve, which I think is quite cool. No manky tyre valve ruining your wheel design. Man, when these are refurbed,
why is it only Italians are allowed to use horseshoe in their wheel? Literally any other country tries it, Italy goes, this is for us.
Some of you are going to say, these wheels are too small. I don't want to hear it. These are the wheels for a 6.2. I would love to buy eventually, or maybe even have some made from China, perhaps, some BBSs, or I have seen some people getting some lovely Hercules wheels. So they're the ones that you'll see on the LP640 and on the Roadster. I think they look cool. I just think for an original car in this colour,
this is the guy.
These are the wheels. And also, they're very rare now finding these wheels because everyone chopped them out for a set of chromies back in the day. So I tried to refit the rest of the wheels, but I had an issue with space. Oh, God. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, that's in my... Oh, really in my... Yeah. I don't know how many steps away from being road legal, but in my mind, we're basically there.
Well, TDC road legal means you think you're ready for the MOT, but you come back with 11 fails.
Ooh, brake lines, is it? Woohoo! But I finally got the wheel on and could then get it back on the ground. Now, we haven't done anything with the ride height or anything, but we do have non-flat tyres now. So the front, also, that's front with nose lift up as well.
Is it up?
So that should be up. Torque the wheels up, which I've just seen a very silly number of 160 Newton meters, but I'll double check it. But 160 was actually correct. So with the wheels torqued, we could move on to some exterior details. Right, tyres are on. The car is now back on the ground. The nose lift is still up. Some of you may have noticed we do have a small matter of these. These are just wanging around. Now, many of you will have watched Matt Armstrong, and you will know that they are just from a Ford Focus, from a Mark I Ford Focus. I did order from Ford directly some clear ones, but I'm against that now. I think the orange suits this car. It's an early 2000s car. The orange works. I want it to look nice and original. So I have a plan to get hold of some of those. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But another thing I need for the MOT, this car came with no number plates for some reason, but this is the original number plate. However, I do have some other options once I get the V5 for this car. One of them being one that Edwin found. That is a cool plate. So that is a seriously cool plate. I found that on Collecting Cars. Won it for an okay amount of money, but it just works on this car. But I also got, in a little nod to the Gallardo, I haven't got it printed with me today, but I also got V12 TDU, so Test Drive Unlimited. This car was in Test Drive Unlimited. It's one of the worst models you'll ever see, but it was in there, so I might run that for a little while, but these need to go on first for the MOT. Also, it really hurts me putting a front plate on this. It looks so much better without, but previously in this car's life, not only has it had a lot of damage on the front end, we've got loads of cracks around here, but someone's drilled the bumper. Please, if you work at a dealership, please, if there's another way, look, sticky pad, I've never had an issue with sticky pads. Please just do that. With that, I stuck the front plate on. And then I could move on to the back. Number plate's one of the most nerve-wracking things, but look at that, we are now a road-legal car, maybe. So we hit the road to go and collect my new indicator lights, but not from where you might expect. Okay, right, so we come with some Lamborghini parts. So we come to A1 Spares. It's like a scrapyard. You can come and pick and pull bits yourself, basically. So we want a mirror, central wing mirror, from an early 2000s Audi. Now we think we've got two A3s there. I have noticed that almost every single one of these Audis had the mirror taken out already. So if I can find a black one that's from the 2000s, that should fit the Murcielago, and I'll just need a little bracket to go on there. I also need, oh no. I also need those orange indicators, and look there, we've got a Mark I Focus.
Oh yes.
Oh no, he's eyeing it up, Will.
So wasting no time at all, Edwin went to grab the indicators before the mysterious man.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you mind if I take that? Yeah, you taking that or no? No, all good, lovely.
But unfortunately, the right side was actually broken.
Only the one. The other side's broken.
Only one?
Yeah, the other one's broken.
And upon closer inspection, this side was also broken. So we carried on looking.
Okay, that's really annoying because that could have been a really, really cheap. Again, they don't cost that much new. They're like 25 quid. But if we could have just pulled one off of an old car, a little bit of recycling, that would have been really cool. Let's see if we can get the mirror at least.
Yeah.
So we carried on looking for both Fords and for Audis that we could take the rear view mirror from.
Fortunately, this is the Targa model.
Quite a rare one, but hey,
that's a mirror. And is it black?
That's quite impressive.
And it's black. Now, it's not electric,
no,
which my one is, but for the time being, that might just work. So we'll take this off first.
Yeah, you take that off first.
And there we go. And is the mirror the same on like a newer car? Because then we can.
That gone.
Now with water on it. Whilst we had a manual backup, we carried on looking, hoping for an electric one.
Oh, it's grey leather.
It's grey.
But black dash. No, it's a manual mirror.
Oh.
But it is very small.
So unfortunately, we couldn't find the indicators or the mirror, so I had to order them online. And back at the unit, it was time to reveal the car to our videographer Ben for the first time.
Woo! Wow, wow, wow. Sick. This is cool. This is really cool.
You've driven one of these?
Yeah, no, this is just seen these before.
Please have a seat, sir.
Oh, sure. How?
Ooh.
Yeah, just
sorry, little Irish,
Danny Longlegs getting in there.
little Irish jig before getting in.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, you like that one? You're going to use this photo as a dream car thing. Go, I sat a Lamborghini 23 years ago.
Can I start it?
You can if you want.
I just want to hear it. Wow. Oh yeah, that's cool. You'll get hit with fuel. Yeah, I felt that. Ah. Yeah, that's cool. Fuel.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh. We know how to bump start a Lamborghini Murcielago.
I heard this. What?
So battery was dead.
Okay.
Like fully dead. So we had to jump it perhaps 5 or 6 times.
Yes.
And we killed 2 power packs, one of them being like a big Nocco. And then to get it on the trailer, we had to start the engine to get the nose lift up. It only works with the engine on.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't start, so we had to bump start it. Great. So we had 6 people pushing it, bump started it, and it was fun.
Congrats, William. This is sick, man.
Thank you. With that, we
They
wanted
did
to
a
give the car a
bonsai straight
quick
away.
inspection to see the condition of the car and what other jobs would need doing. Right, so we have tyres on it, we have battery, we've got a few other bits, but let's have a little look around the car because it's not perfect. On camera, it probably looks really good. And to me, it's perfectly fine, but there are a few things on this car that most people buying a car like this would not accept. And a lot of it is cosmetic. So the front of the car, one of the first things I noticed when I went to see the car in person on auction day was the headlights. So that headlight is glass. This one is a sort of Perspex plastic. It's not the end of the world, but obviously one of them has been damaged in the past, so someone has put this Perspex one on. That is because those headlights, I think they're about £5,000 or £6,000 each. That is the entire headlight, but still, and no one makes the actual glass cover for it. Sometimes people will try and separate the glass from the headlight because this plastic, as in this one, goes a little bit faded behind there, so you want to separate it and try and treat it. So maybe that happened on this side and they cracked it. The only annoying thing is that this one's all kind of scuffed and scratched. Because it's plastic, I don't think it's got the sort of protection properties, if you like. So this one's a bit scuffed, so I'll see if I can polish this, but I don't care. Lights come out of it. I'm perfectly fine with that.
As long as the MOT tester says there's a light there, we're fine. So they're a much cheaper replacement as well, right?
These are about £300.
Okay, so in Murcielago terms, pennies.
Yeah, a few people have told me, just sell that glass one if you can get it off and replace it with, but I could easily try and take that off and break it. So I'm not going to touch it. If it gets broken, I'll put another one of those on.
Now, you've put your front number plate on, the original one that came with the car, but behind there are some... Behind there are some number plate holes.
Yeah,
right?
there are 4 number plate holes, which is so annoying. Drilling holes into bumpers, also into this car.
Yeah.
So that would have been a dealer probably at some point. I don't know if these cars would have had a plinth. I can't quite remember, but I've just stuck it on over the top, so that's covering them. But this car realistically needs a lot of paint. We'll get to it. We have a slight crease here. There's like sort of a fracture in the paint, and you can see that there. That's obviously maybe from an impact. Maybe there's a bump in the car park. It does look like the front bumper has been painted. There's stone chips everywhere. There's a few quite big cracks all under here. This car does have nose lift, so not sure where those have come from. I'm not too bothered because it means I don't have to be too precious. This car costs a lot, but with bodywork like this, you're not too worried about it getting much worse. Now, the wheels are not in the worst condition in terms of curbing, but there's lots of sort of oxidization and just random bits of bubbling in the paint everywhere, so they definitely need redoing. They also have mismatching center caps. This is the correct center cap. This is the sort of black and chrome one with just the bull. Some people will put the original Lamborghini crest on like you have on the front. That is not correct, and there's some even more incorrect ones on the other ones. These are quite expensive. They're about £140 each.
Per centre cap?
Per centre cap. I don't really want to pay for that. It's just a centre cap. I might see what other options are out there, but having 3 mismatched ones is really annoying.
You've got lovely new tyres on there.
I do have lovely new tyres. As you have seen, new tyres fitted. I thought the rears would be my biggest problem. Turns out the fronts. I've put the wrong tyre size on the front. That normally wouldn't be the end of the world on some cars because it means I've got a little bit of extra sidewall. I went about 5% up. But on these cars, I have quite an old school mechanical four-wheel drive system. And if you have one of the wheels or one of the axles that's moving faster or slower than it should be, then you can be causing damage further back. And I don't really want to do that. It's fine for moving around at the moment, but really annoying because I've kind of wasted some money on these tyres. I'll see if I can sell these to someone, and I have ordered the correct ones. 245, 35, 18 with all the right ratings in a Pirelli that matches the rear. Almost impossible.
There were lots of stories from the early 2000s from rappers putting big chrome wheels on these cars and absolutely destroying the transfer boxes and gearboxes because of the mismatched wheels and the wheel speed being wrong. So we do not want to be doing that new gearbox type thing. Yeah. And you know, that's going to be cheap.
I don't even want to know what a new gearbox is. Brakes are actually, they're new, but not new. So they haven't done many miles. I found a bill in the paperwork. It was about £2,000 for a set of front discs, but these are the weakest point, apparently, of this very early Murcielago. So these are basically off of a Diablo. We've got relatively small calipers for a Lamborghini, but I'm not going to bother touching them at the moment. Maybe it's an upgrade down the line. I'll get the most out of these. The pads are brand new as well, so that was done by one of the previous owners. Wheels, they need a refurb. I need some front tyres, but other than that, we're all good.
How much were those in the end?
They were £15.
Really, we're pushing the boat out. That's back to TDC budget now. Ford Focus front markers, little eBay.
Now, because it is a Lamborghini and it's a V12 Lamborghini, the doors go up.
Just one finger.
That one goes up really nicely. This one, it should sort of go up on its own, but it kind of doesn't. You have a gas strut just in here that attaches to the body and then goes up inside the door, and that is what means you can open your door and it stays up. Obviously, at the moment it's good because it stays up. Obviously, the last thing you'd want is it to guillotine you as you get in and out, but that does need replacing. I think I had a look, they're about £90 from Lamborghini. Not one of the worst prices I've seen from Lamborghini, but it is a gas strut for £90. So that I'll need to do, but not so urgent.
These bat wings, I think, are the best piece of design on any car ever made. It's the coolest looking thing.
When they go up.
For not really much reason. There is enough airflow. There's enough airflow in there.
Luke Donkerwalk, who's the guy who designed it, said he designed it like this, but smooth. And then the engineers came back and said, no, we need more air than that. But they would have had to make it so they had this huge bulbous arch, so they incorporated that. They did it with windscreen wiper motors originally to test it, and then they made that work. So these come up at a particular temperature. They're set to auto all the time, so they will go up and down as they please. But because it's Lamborghini, they said, is it very cool? So we're going to give you a button so you can put them up at 10 miles an hour. They are functional, but my God, are they cool. Aventador lost, they had a flap that came up, I think, but not in the same aggressive fashion.
It is, when you see them come up,
another thing that makes this so much cooler than a Gallardo, Gallardos are kind of like slab-sided, they're not hugely wide. The Murcielago has these huge apertures for air coming in, so you've got that one right along there that goes into the bat wings, and then this one down here, which is absolutely massive, but it is different to the later car, the LP640, famously, that Clarkson pointed out, where it had an opening on one side for an oil cooler, but not on the other. This car doesn't have that. It's a 6.2, it's an early car. It's actually quite symmetrical.
How wide is the rear wheel?
It's a 13J with a 335.
13J.
Yes,
my Beat has 13-inch wheels. It's as wide a wheel as my Beat wheels are tall.
And it is. From the back, I cannot stop looking at this angle because the wheels are actually quite nicely spaced out from standard. And just seeing those rears and those tailpipes, it's a fat car. It is fat. This car, being a previous Cat D and having a few little bumps and scrapes in its life, there's a few different shades of yellow. One of them being this nice one here. So this panel, I believe, here is all one. This will have to come off for an exhaust at some point, which integrates in the rear wing. So this rear wing should go up. I've heard it doesn't go up. I'm not too bothered about that. There are a few like random cracks and bits in the bumper. You can see some bits that have been painted before. Not ideal, but not the end of the world.
Now let's talk about your tips.
They are not staying. I do have an exhaust system on the way. It'll take a little while because it's coming from the US. It is the exhaust I have always wanted to have on a Murcielago, so I cannot wait to hear that. This car already has sports cats. It has Fab Speed sports cats, which is good for MOT stuff, but also it's very loud.
It's really loud.
It's very, very loud. These cars have huge back boxes. The back box essentially takes up this entire space here, and it is massive. So when you get rid of that for an X pipe, you get a little bit different tone and it gets much louder, but you also get some much bigger tips. These are good. They're good, but they can be better. A little bit bigger, come a little bit further out. What I love about a 6.2 over a 640, these are the actual exhaust tips. On a 640, you have a sort of bit that's part of the bumper and the tips are sort of hidden inside there. That is your exhaust, and you can see exactly where it goes up and under. So new exhaust required, but that's one of my favorite bits of the rear. There's a fuel flap button in the car that when you press it should open the fuel flap, but
you don't need it.
It's just open all the time. One of the coolest fuel actual caps you'll ever see. Look at that. You put that down at a petrol station, someone might steal that from you. Let's move on to the interior, because there's a couple of little bits in there. The interior of this car is actually not too bad. It's relatively clean. It needs a proper clean, like the leather's a little bit shiny and there's a few creases in it, but no major cuts or anything like that. I think I should be able to bring this back with some leather cleaner, a little bit of heat, and get loads of these dents out. There are a few sort of Lamborghini bits that are a little bit annoying. So this cover here, which is for an ashtray, obviously this is a supercar from the early 2000s, so you have an ashtray. It never really goes down properly and it's a little bit wonky. Also in here, this was already in there, a couple of bolts and a washer. I'll leave that there because they may become apparent why they're useful. And we have one of the most useless storage compartments ever here. Part of the reason for that is because this entire tunnel here is gearbox, which means that your shifter here, because obviously this is a manual, this is the one everybody wants, it's the one I wanted, gated manual, goes right down onto the gearbox. On some old supercars have a cable system. So on the Gallardo of the same generation, you have the shifter here, but then there are cables because the gearbox is all the way at the back. For this, you are right on the gearbox, which means it just feels incredible. The steering wheel in this is slightly off center from the seat, which is a little bit annoying. And then the seat also, both seats kind of sit at an angle like this. So you're kind of both pointing in at an angle, so nothing's quite right. And then one of the other things is I'm missing a dimming rear view mirror, but I have a plan for that. And then also the radio, we just have an aftermarket, relatively normal and kind of wonky singled in head unit. This does have Bluetooth, which is kind of nice. Then under here, under this extremely heavy panel that says Lamborghini on it, we've got your climate control, which some of you will recognise and know is out of a Rover. I think it's a Rover 75. It's actually exactly the same one you have in a Zonda, but in the Lamborghini they said, let's cover that up. We don't like that. And then the other thing on the interior is at some point in the 2000s, someone has put a set of Kenwood dual mags in the door. They are your only speakers. You have a speaker and a tweeter, that's it. And then your other speaker is the big one out back. Behind the seat we have some storage. We have that. We don't have a glove box in the car, but you have got two of those. And then down there is an original CD changer. We don't have the original CD player, so that won't work, but this car had an optional CD changer. Another odd thing in here is the fact that the seat belts come from the middle, so anyone who'll get in one of these, they will immediately reach over that shoulder and reach for a seat belt, but obviously because of the doors, and also because Lamborghini knew that they were going to make a roadster version of this, they put the seat belts here, nice and safe, so it's on the firewall there, so it's a little bit odd. And then the other thing is, obviously no space here for a handbrake, so it is here, and obviously because it's on that side, it needs to be flat at all times. Obviously most handbrakes, when you pull them up, they're going to be in the way, so it's not in the way. You have something called a fly-off handbrake. So this is actually on at the moment. It's a little bit weird to get used to, but you have to sort of press the button and lift it up, and then it's on, and then you can push it back down. So that handbrake is now on, and then you sort of push the button in, pull it up, and let it down, and then that goes off. It's so you don't get impaled by it on your way out. So again, because it's an early Murcielago, it's very similar to lots of stuff you would have had on the Diablo. So that is the key.
It's not great.
It isn't ideal. I kind of like how simple it is.
Yeah.
The later ones had the Audi key, which Galados would have had, which is a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
But that's
okay.
It's okay, but this doesn't work in the ignition for some reason. I think it should. This one works in the doors, but this one is for the ignition.
Straight up Timpsons on that.
That's someone's shed key.
Yeah, that's so great.
It does have central locking, but it's on an old Clifford, so this is an old school. It's actually the same system we have in the SRT4.
No, that makes sense.
Fortunately, we have the fob, so I don't have to put a code in every single time. But these are known to be extremely problematic. Again, this is Lamborghini. At that point, Audi was still getting into it, so they were like, look, we'll just go to Clifford or someone to do the immobiliser and the alarm. But these cause massive, massive issues, and I think this is already causing issues with mine. So over in that corner, behind some sort of carbon fibre trims, and underneath, I think, the coolant tank, is two fuel filters that have been changed recently, but attached to those fuel filters are two fuel solenoids, and the fuel solenoids are what receive a signal from the Clifford. So when the car is immobilised, it will not allow the engine to start at all, but that can go wrong. When they go wrong, you cannot start the car. There is no way around it. You cannot do anything about it. So a lot of people will delete the Clifford system. Now, because it's old, it's relatively simple. So I have to take the fuel filters out, replace those solenoids with just some normal connectors, so delete them entirely, and then do a little bit of wiring underneath the dash, and the Clifford will be gone, and I'll just have the normal central locking. People have said that these have just failed on them while they're out and about. You'll go into the shop, or you'll park up somewhere, you'll come out, and the car just will not start. And there is nothing you can do without deleting those, so I want to kind of get to that as soon as possible, because I don't want that. Breaking down in a yellow Lamborghini feels, you know, people are going to laugh, and they're going to point, and they're going to think you're a knobhead.
There is a more pressing issue, right? Because when we started it at the track, and ever since, there has been a bit of a misfire.
Yep.
But the issue with that is the cost.
What happened with this is you get, I got check engine L.
Nice.
And I thought I was being taken the piss out of here, but this car will tell you what bank is misfiring. So you have an engine code, and then you have a catalyst code. Catalyst one goes red. So the other day, when this was relatively low on fuel, I moved it out, and it started popping and banging like mad. You could hear it from literally over there, and that is because the coil packs are bad. That is what everyone will tell you. If you have that issue where you have a catalyst issue and you have an engine light, and this car hunts for idle on cold start, it'll be coil packs. They're not that bad to get to. They're actually not that bad to get to, but when I had a little look online, I thought, oh, coil packs, I know it'll be expensive. There are 12 of them, but I wasn't expecting this price. Jay, do you see that price? That's £19,500.
19,000.
There is not any like actual official aftermarket solution to that, but fortunately someone in the US, I think it might even be Canada, figured out there is a Kia V6 in the US that has an almost identical plug, and actually this is better. So this is an NGK coil plug that is a 3-pin. Part of the issue is that these are a 3-wire plug. There's not much that can replace it. So you have £19,500. There's a couple of other options that will probably cost you around £2,000, but these are $600.
Wow, all in.
For 12 of them, and most people will tell you these are better. So the original one has a metal clip, that is what locks it in place. I can't use that on these, but the weather seal on these is much more modern and much better, so it'll keep rain out even better. So this is actually an upgrade, if anything. So next task, is to do all 12 coil packs and spark plugs.
Okay. It also has a little securing part that the Kia has, but this doesn't.
But this doesn't. Some people cut them off. I don't know if I'll bother, because there's a lot of cutting.
I don't mind doing it. I'll cut them off if you want to fit them.
You feel free. Feel free, because it'll look much cleaner. But this is potentially with the spark plugs, which I got from GSF, no less. Again, no random, annoying supercar stuff, just went to GSF. So we now have all of that for circa, I'd say, £800 all in. So I'm saving almost £19,000 by doing it myself.
And that £19,000 number is before labour, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So Lamborghini's going to charge you another few £1,000s just to fit them. So nigh on 25 grand to do plugs and coil packs, whereas we're going to be under £1,000 doing them ourselves on the car here. These are the savings that need to be made in order to run this car.
Oh yes, they are. Something that modern supercars are pretty bad at is having a lot of slowed space. I think that is not a bad bit at all.
It's not terrible.
It's nice and deep. We'll get to some of the bits that are in there already, but I've got one of my first proper fixes. I did notice, or sorry, Edwin noticed, when we pulled the car in here last week, that there was a missing bung. The hole there goes down towards the brake fluid reservoir, so that is how you would basically top that up. Also, this panel here is a little bit broken, so we'll have to see if we can repair that. That bung needs to be there, otherwise just water is just going to be flying down into there. But I bought a bung. I didn't bother looking at a Lamborghini part. I thought it's a bung.
It's going to be a 700 quid bung.
It's just a bung. So I measured it. Come on, you verb. This was meant to be a simple fix. It kind of feels like my bung's not the right size. I'll be real. I think that's bunging.
There you go.
There we go.
Do.
So that is sealed. Again, I might look into getting the correct one so it pops in there nicely, but now we won't be getting water in there, so I'll put this back. It's a little bit crusty behind there. We do have some original bits. There's a bag of Lamborghini branding, which is quite cool.
This is funny.
One Lamborghini branded glove. Right. That, as far as I'm aware, is the wrong glove. That looks older. Edwin actually bought me a pair of the right Lamborghini gloves, which are down there somewhere. So they are correct.
So they are there literally so that you can change your wheels. Because you, as a Lamborghini owner, you shouldn't be touching your own wheels, should you?
Great choice on the white, by the way, Lamborghini. Yeah. But that is kind of cool. It's a bit older. Maybe it's a knockoff. I don't know. But we'll keep that in there. We also have in here... Sorry.
That's OEM.
T-tail.
Surely that's OEM.
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh,
a second glove. That actually looks kind of used. So we have two gloves. We also have, but I think this is standard, aux belt.
Just an aux belt, extra aux belt.
Just an aux belt in case, and then...
I'd like to know how many Murcielago owners actually ended up using that themselves, not taking it to a shop, but side of the road, do a quick aux belt.
And then a Lamborghini branded bulb box.
That's quite cool.
That's quite cool. And then I've really just noticed this, I've never seen this before.
Okay.
This is related to one of the things I need to delete, I believe.
This is an alarm module.
So I think that's the alarm module for a Clifford.
Okay.
So I'll have to check if this car still has it. It should do, because it still beeps and everything. But this is one of the things I'm meant to be deleting, and I've now found it in a bag in the front.
That makes sense.
The other thing we have is a toolkit. So this would have been fairly standard.
Look at this.
We have, look at that.
They're branded.
It is a Lamborghini branded set of pliers in there. Not all of it's Lamborghini branded. I think some of it's gone missing. We've got a nice extension here. In Italian, I think this one is Chrome Vanadium.
Okay, nice.
But we do have some Lamborghini screwdrivers, which are quite cool.
And they've been used, which is interesting.
And they have been used. And then in here, I think we have a series of random sockets, none of which are Lamborghini branded.
Lovely.
We're going to put this away. Right, let's get things fixed. So I got to work removing the old coil packs.
So one of the differences on the NGK that we'll talk about earlier, this has a little ear on it, because on the Kia it has a bolt that you bolt through, or a stud that this bolts onto. The Lamborghini doesn't have that. She used some cutters and then cleaned it up with the sanding wheel, so now we have a smooth corner of that versus this one with an ear. It's not perfect, it's not pretty, but it's nicer, and it won't look like there's something missing on the car. So there you go, there's one finished. I'll do
Lovely. Oh, yeah.
On to the next.
In the meantime, I've also taken one of the plugs out, so that's the first one. So that is a Champion plug, which is the one that they recommend. So there's actually a little plaque down there on the car, I think, that says use a Champion plug, but they're not the best anymore. They're kind of an old spec, but they don't look too bad. Tiny bit black on there, but nothing too terrible. But new NGK one, this is the one most people recommend, with a new washer, ready to go in. And then Edwin got to work cutting and grinding the new coil packs so they look the same as the original ones, so I could get them installed in the car, ready to try and get this thing road legal. I know that this is a ridiculous amount of money, and trust me, I'm stretching myself massively to try and make this happen, but this has always been the ultimate dream car for me. And even though I do now own a Lamborghini Murcielago, which I can barely believe I'm even saying, that is not going to change the sort of content that we're going to make on
switching up on his day
TDC.
ones.
We're not going to turn into a supercar channel. There isn't going to be a wrap and an exhaust on this in the next week. We are still going to be bodging things, buying the cheap cars that we really, really love to work on and modify. And I don't think that is ever going to change. I still daily drive a £600 Alfa Romeo 159, and a Murcielago is not going to change that. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you remember to subscribe. Also, I think there might be some Murcielago merch coming out. It might be out.
Hey guys, comment on this Richh video, man. I comment on every video I watch, man. It's a free thing to do. Why not? I'm gonna comment W Lambo, man. I can't lie. That car is a W, bro. Honestly, I like it. I like it. Anyway, subscribe to Richh. Leave a comment. See you guys in the next video.